Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Monday, the 27th of September. October is close up, and we have a great interview today. We have Mr. Kyle Petit with us.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Good. Thanks for taking some time to sit down with us. All right. So starting off, let us know, I mentioned your name already, but introduce yourself and where you're from.
Kyle Petit, photographer, videographer. I'm from Aurora, currently living in Wheaton, but still spend plenty of time right here.
Okay. How long have you been a photographer?
There's never really a hard start, you know. Picked up a camera, had fun with it, hobby, slowly turned into business. But I think it was probably 6 years ago that I got the first camera.
Okay.
So that's probably where it really took a good step up.
Are great photographers born or are they made?
Probably made. Yeah, I think personally, like, just learned a lot. I did have, like, a little bit of a fire in me to take photos early on, you know, anytime I could, you know. I remember picking up a toy camera or something and just like, oh, what if I took it from this angle? And I was, you know, way too young to think about a career, but I think I definitely owe a lot to, like, what I've learned from other people that they've, you know.
Okay. Now you said you were born in Aurora, or was that Wheaton? Okay.
Yeah.
Growing up, what impact did your mom have on your life?
My mom's awesome. Yeah, she's just been great. I think, like, both of my parents have been very special parents. You know, not too strict, not too free, and right. I think they just really were personable to me. We had a good relationship. So yeah, I think definitely my mom has been always there, always comforting, you know, as mothers do.
Now, East Sider or West Sider?
West Side, yeah.
West Side.
Yeah.
Blackhawks in the house.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
West Aurora.
West Aurora.
Yeah.
When'd you graduate?
2018.
2018. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your post-high school education?
Nothing. YouTube University.
YouTube
That's
University.
What we say. Yeah. Learn it all on YouTube.
All right. So you picked up a camera as a young person. You always had an affinity for photography. What was your first job?
First job. First paying job?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know. It might have been a wedding. We had a coworker that was like, "Hey, you need somebody for my wedding? I have like $50, you know, or something." Right. Something, you know. It's like way too little for a wedding, but I didn't know any better. So, yeah, just little opportunities where it's like, you know, I know you have a camera and I don't want to pay for a real photographer.
Right.
It's like, try it out, and that gave me some great experience. Yeah, I can't remember exactly which was the very first, but I think it might have been that.
Okay. Now, as a photographer, what's your niche or your genre? Is that how you say? Like,
yeah.
What do you shoot?
I'm still kind of a jack of all trades. Hopefully a master of something. But most of the stuff that I really, really enjoy doing is like product photography, food photography, stuff like that. But lately it's been been really on fire for weddings. I've done just a ton of weddings, especially for other people this year. So weddings have been really exciting to me lately, portraits.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I really haven't done is like landscape or interior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Not many people reach out to me for that. So if somebody does, then I will do it.
Okay. All right. Now, what kind of camera did you start using when you began?
I started on a Canon T5i.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a good starter camera?
Oh yeah, I mean it was definitely the most exciting thing in my life for a while. Yeah, it was a great starter, and now it's probably $200 you can get one for or something like that. So
Right.
it's a good starter price range too, because cameras do get pretty crazy.
It's the lenses too that are expensive, right?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you get your basic cheapest body, and you can. I mean, especially with Canon, like for the most part, they keep the same mount, for their lenses.
Okay.
So you could get a $2,000 lens on a $200 camera and get some pretty great, quality out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you use now?
I'm on a Fujifilm X-T4.
Okay.
Yeah. So not many people shoot Fujifilm. I actually just met the only other Fujifilm photo shooter this weekend. Yeah, at a wedding. So it's definitely not like the most common brand to go with, but it's the one that I chose, and I really, really like it.
Okay. So you have decided to just name your company your name, Kyle Petit Media.
Really, that's the most timeless thing since it won't change. Could get creative with it, but it might not be trendy in a couple years.
Right. And how can people find you?
Instagram's where I spend most of my, online attention, or kylepetitmedia.com.
Now, I'm sure that this would be better ascertained in like a class or something like that, but what are the basics of photography that a novice should know or consider just going into it?
Yeah, and I love that, people could ask that question, because I think everybody's a photographer now. We have, the most amazing technology right in our pocket.
Right.
And so photography can start right there. You don't need to buy a camera. Camera won't do you much good until I think composition is one, where you're framing things and the angle that you're working with. I say that's like the biggest one. That one, and then lighting probably would be second. But then when you get into the camera and you get into more fine-tuned settings, but lighting and composition can get you much further than you think you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a guy who's a novice with a camera, did most of shooting with cell phone, iPhone camera type of stuff, I have found that it's slightly difficult to get good in the manual setting of a camera as opposed to just relying on auto. How did you work yourself into into being able to shoot manually, and how hard of a journey was that for you?
I mean, it's pretty exciting to me. It definitely seems harder when you first start. So anybody that's like looking into it, I'd say like pull through. It'll get much more fluent, and you can understand it much easier as you go on, as most things are. But it was at the time I was doing a digital photography class in high school that that really broke down the basics of camera settings, and just how much like control, like if you want a shallower depth of field, you can change this setting, or if you want it to freeze time better, you can change this setting, and just kind of figuring out between these settings where you want to go for that photo that you're taking, so that you get it every time. Yeah, so it wasn't too difficult, but that might just be because I enjoyed it, not because it wasn't a lot.
Right.
But yeah, now I use it every day, so it's definitely made its money was worth, and it's worth learning. Yeah.
All right. Take me through some of your favorite shoots. Have there been some moments that have been like, all right, awesome, this is heck of a day I'm doing here?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my favorite times to take a photo isn't when I'm getting paid for it. Me and my wife really like camping and, going out to Tennessee, Smoky Mountains. It's one of our favorite places to go, and, just taking photos of the nature out there has been really fun. But one shoot that really did get me excited is I reached out to a company that makes little travel espresso makers, pretty much. And it was like a device, like a product that I really was interested in, but not quite enough that I'd purchase it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I reached out to them over Instagram.
I like
hey,
it, but I don't love it.
I really like this, but I'm skeptical. I'm a coffee person, and this is kind of a sin to do it here. Like, you need a full machine. So it's I had to just I reached out, and they were like, of course, like, we'd love some photos. We'll send you one. And so they sent it to me, and then that turned into 3-4 other shoots where I could just go out into the wilderness with a friend, make coffee, take photos of it, and it's just like, what could be better than that? Like, going out in the wilderness, making coffee, and taking photos.
What a life!
That's
what
the three best things.
Oh, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what wedding photography? All right. So I want to specifically talk wedding photography.
Yeah.
What are the do's and don'ts of wedding photography?
The do's and don'ts of wedding photography. I mean, it varies. Let me think. I mean, being personable is a huge one. Don't be awkward. So if you're not comfortable, nobody else can be comfortable.
Yeah.
And your goal is to make, however many people are in this bridal party or the whole room to be very comfortable.
Right.
Get real smiles and not fake smiles.
Right.
Yeah, it's really like there's a lot of knowing like how to keep things moving and not to just be standing around. So like one of the do's would be especially as a photographer, like you're kind of leading the posing of all these things, especially even if you have like a video team there too. It's like photographer's taking the lead. So you need to keep things moving, schedule even too. It's like another little add-on. So you need to keep like the timing right for things. So keep things moving and keep things natural. Keep things, comfortable and be personable with everybody there.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Locally, where do you hang out?
You like in Aurora?
Mm-hmm.
Society 57 has been my go-to spot ever since they opened. I went in there, took a photo of my latte, and said, "Hey, took a photo, and I can do it professionally for you if you'd like." And they're like, "Yeah." So since then, I've been doing photos for them, and it's just an awesome place to hang out. The baristas are like just some of my favorite people. Even if I'm not taking photos, I still really like to hang out there and talk with my friends. I'd say that's like probably number one within the last couple of years. Side 57.
Okay, and that's where we met. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. What does America mean to you?
What does America mean to me? Oh man, that's a loaded question. We have a lot of blessings and a lot of downfalls. I'd say that's like the simplest I could put it. Without getting too intricate, but we have a lot to be thankful for to live here, but we're not done yet.
Right. How has COVID affected your life?
Oh man. Well, actually, I really enjoyed. I mean, it's hard to say enjoyed, but through the beginning season of COVID, as a person that struggles with FOMO, fear of missing out, it's like it was kind of reassuring. It's like everybody's just cozied in their home. Everybody's just breaking out the Nintendo Wii, playing Wii bowling all day. Like everyone's just kind of getting to know their family better, and like you're not missing anything. And then it got a little tiring as time went on, but I really enjoyed what it did with relationships, where it's like, oh man, if I don't see you all the time, I actually need to be more intentional about talking to you.
Right.
And so I liked that and that also everybody's going through the same thing, and you don't feel that too often, that everybody is hindered by this, and so it brought people together even though it brought people physically apart.
Right.
And then, for my business, I actually just had quit. So I worked at Gillerson's Grubbery up until February of 2020. So,
Okay.
and then right after that, the world went sideways. So, it was kind of a big moment where, instead of splitting between jobs, I was like, I think I can fully, sustain my life with the camera in my hands. And so it was a tough goodbye. I really, really enjoyed that job, but and it worked out okay. The business at first, it was kind of like, no, there's nothing. There's no events. There's no people with extra money to invest in their portrait or invest in but I have a job as a video editor for a company in Wheaton, and we started doing full service for churches, and so every week there'd be hours of work for me, and so it kind of kept me going until things picked back up. So I was very grateful for that.
I mean, do you feel like we're out of it now? What's your opinion of, the whole catchphrase has been the new normal and the post-COVID landscape. Are we there yet?
I don't know if we can ever be at a place where you're like, yeah, this is normal. And I think that so much has changed in our world in the last couple of years that normal isn't really the goal, at least not for me. We're just where we are at the moment. I don't think we're quite past it. I think we're still plenty of change to come, plenty of COVID complications, whether it be medically or politically or whatever. I think we're still in the thick of it, but I think we're getting somewhere.
Right.
We're getting somewhere.
Right. All right. You come from a big family?
No, not really. I have an older sister by a few years and then a younger brother by 10 years. Us and our parents.
Okay. And did you say you had a fiance?
Probably when I met you. Yeah, I don't know when I met you, but we got married.
Yeah.
No, we got married in May. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, all right now. Good stuff, man. Okay. So what you're from Aurora, so you should know this. Give me some of the biggest changes that you've seen take place in the city in your time living here and being here growing up.
Yeah. Downtown has been just it's become a very exciting place to be, not for because you have to, because you want to. Right. There's some really, really cool businesses opening up, and Aurora, I think, is on the come up for for action. Things are happening here, and that's all the signs everywhere. There's something happening here.
That's the slogan.
I've really, really liked it, and especially at the time in my life, looking for restaurants or new businesses or whatever that might be wanting some entry level photography was a nice little place for me to direct my professional goals, to just kind of make connections with those people that are starting businesses.
Right. What took you to Wheaton?
That's the job that I had, video editing, is in Wheaton.
Okay.
Which I'll go on a little tangent of a story.
Feel free, bruh.
Let's get into it. In 2018, I went on a mission trip with my church, and we usually I'll be a videographer, but not an editor. He's just get some footage of it, and then the youth pastor would make a little video at the end to kind of show what we did and something to watch after. And so this year I was all right, we're going to Guatemala. It's a big trip. I'm really getting interested in my camera. I want to try to take it on myself. And so I told him, hey, do you mind if I just take it all? I'll do the editing, I'll do everything. And of course he's yes, I'd love something off of my plate. Which he's actually my brother-in-law now, and he married us in May. But so I made this highlight video. I was very proud of it. And then I had a friend of my dad's who is battling cystic fibrosis, which is like a lung disease. And he just wanted to share kind of what his life is about and like what cystic fibrosis is and just kind of his day to day, just so he can be, maybe a light to other people who are battling this disease. And so he asked me to make like, hey, can you make a video? And I was like, yeah. And I was very eager, trying to make this little mini documentary. Met him at Treadwell one day, and as I'm waiting for him, sitting there with my camera, a guy editing on a laptop is like, hey, I think I know you, like I know your family, I'm friends with this person, that person, and so we started talking. I showed him the video that I had made from that missions trip, and he's like, this has serious potential, like for somebody that hasn't edited any videos before, like you're at a good starting point. It's like, I do wedding videos. Do you want to come edit for me? And so he's now my boss. He was my best man at my wedding. And so we're both in Wheaton. And yeah, I started editing wedding films. It's gone into corporate shoots and different things like that. And it's really just taken off in the last couple of years.
Good. Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations, brother. All right. So Aurora as a city, I feel there aren't that many. I mean, you said that basically anybody with a phone now, because of technology, just how good it is, people are able to take good quality photos on a starter novice level.
Yeah.
But I feel like Aurora doesn't have many well-known photographers. So my question is, who are some of your mentors? Or who are people that you looked up to in the world of photography?
Within Aurora?
Yeah. Let's start with Aurora, but then we can branch out, yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, I really just, seeing other people take photos. I mean, I can't even remember who were the first ones, but as I was becoming more of a photographer, I really enjoyed, the little interactions with Amy Nelson. She has referred me to tons of people. I'm really grateful for her contribution to my business. It seems like every time somebody reaches out for a project, they're like, oh yeah, Amy Nelson sent me your way.
Nice.
So I want to see her soon to give her a high five. Latrice Murphy, Sam Donnell, I think he's in Aurora. There have been some cool people that are doing similar things that I'm doing, and nice to not be the only one out there.
Good. Good. Are they your mentors?
I don't know about mentors. More like, mentors. I don't know if I had any like huge photography mentors. I mean, my teacher in high school was pretty great, and that was pretty she taught me a lot, and that was her job, but she taught it in a way that got me really excited about it. So I think that's probably the closest thing to a photography mentor that I had.
What's something that you could teach somebody about photography?
Anything they want to know.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know it all. I don't know it all, but if somebody reaches out to me saying I want to, learn something about photography, then, I'm there.
So when I first saw you, I recognized you immediately. Does that happen to you a lot? Do people like,
not really.
Oh, you're Kyle Petit, man.
No. No, I felt like a celebrity when I met you.
Yeah, dude. You take nice work. I mean, you take nice pictures. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking, I'm like, that's Kyle Petit. Yeah. Plus nice. It's the beard too.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, it's iconic.
Yep. Okay. So what's your next, like, have you not shot anything yet that you want to shoot? Is there right? Have you found your white whale yet?
I've been pretty blessed with how the variety of things that I've been able to do.
Okay.
With photography and videography, where I have a good crew of people. Especially the people I work with in the studio. We have a couple different businesses and photographers and videographers that are weddings and colleges and like so many different places that video or photo are used, that I can have the charcuterie board of the sampler of all these different things. So like I don't feel like a longing to do something. I like car photography, and that doesn't come up too often, so maybe anything with a car would be a fun shoot, but I'm pretty happy with what I've done and where the work that I'm doing.
Good. All right. The show ends on a positive note. What is your message today for the people of Aurora?
Man, Aurora's killing it. If you're working in Aurora, especially those small business owners, you're the lifeblood to not only you and your employees, but to a photographer like me that needs somebody personable to give him a chance to take some photos. And so I owe a lot to the small businesses, for the economy too. I think Aurora is a great place that gets overlooked too often, and so you should be proud of the city.
Proud of the city. Aurora's killing it.
Aurora's
I
killing
like
it.
that. That's that quote's attributed to you, but I like that. Aurora's killing it. That's very good. Well said. On behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we appreciate you coming in to chop it up with us and talk it out with us. And Kyle Petit on Instagram.
Yep. Kyle Petit Media.
Kyle Petit Media on Instagram. For all of you listeners and all of you guys tuning in, we appreciate Kyle. Get to know who he is. He is frequently at Society 57. He's the guy running around with a camera. The beard is iconic.
Yeah.
And we wish Kyle here much success in the very near future.
Thank you.
All right, guys.